New director of personnel.
Yes?
Hi, Mrs. Wyatt. I'm Cagney McCleary. I work construction on your studio annex.
Now, where have I heard that name before?
I was wondering if I might be able to borrow a spare set of blueprints, if that's possible.
Why, thank Lofties?
Actually, I wanted to study them during my lunch break.
Oh, how industrious of you. Well, they're on the table.
Thank you very much. I'll get them back to you in an hour, if that's all right.
Now I remember where I've heard your name in connection with my stepdaughter, Susie White. Did you know that she'd left town?
Yes, I know.
I rather thought you might.
Hello,
you know
Stephanie, I'm back.
You find that dropping in unannounced gives a much more accurate reading of the environment the child is living in.
Please feel free to just drop in on us at any time. Would you sit down, Miss
Thank
Sullivan?
you.
I mean, I can assure you that nothing has been orchestrated for your benefit.
Yes, well, I can see that TR is very fortunate to have been placed in your home.
Oh, no, we like to think of it as the other way around. I mean, after all she's been through, she deserves someone to come along and try and give her a good home.
Well, I can't help recalling TR's interviews with some of the families who might have offered their homes to her. I can remember one family in particular, the Fowlers. They were very prepared to take her in. She was very hostile to them. Frankly, Mrs. Santel, her chances of a successful transition to any foster home have never been rated very highly.
A bottle of your dishwashing liquid does a lot of dishes. Well, if it's the old green one, it does this many. Not bad. But there's one that does more than any other leading liquid. It's Ivory liquid with longer-lasting suds. The same 32-ounce size Ivory can do that many, and more, and even more. You get 700 more clean dishes out of Ivory, the dishwashingest liquid.
It has no inks. It has no perfumes. It's all Bounce. Bounce Free is here.
Hey, the big squeeze is here.
Charmin said, don't hold back. This roll is bigger and fatter. A roll and a half, and it really does matter. The big squeeze roll from Charmin, it's a roll and a half.
Don't hate me because I'm beautiful. My hair used to have a mind of its own. Then a few weeks ago, I stopped complaining. I started using Pantene. Pantene's got something in it called a provitamin B5 complex. I don't know what it is, but I know what it does. Because every day my hair looked fuller and shinier. The ends didn't split or look frizzy. No, it didn't happen overnight, but it did happen. You'll see.
Pantene. Serious care for beautiful hair.
How did you come by these?
These are just copies I got from the public library. The rest I got at Casey's gym. This guy eventually lived through the beating this guy gave him, but not like a human being.
Boxing. Why would anyone in their right mind want to... Sorry.
It's okay. Brian gave it up a long time ago. Now all he has to worry about is people shooting at him.
Well, it must make you feel safe. Going out with a ex-boxer, now turned cop.
Oh, very safe. He hasn't attacked me once.
Christian, Hogan, how things going for Sonny? How's she doing? Have you seen her today?
Yeah, she's staying with my family right now. She had kind of a tough go at the Santels. And as for how she's doing, well, one day she's on the mend, the next day...
Yeah. Well, you take good care of her, all right?
Well, I'm trying. Kristen's been helping me with the series on boxing injuries. She came up with some unbelievable photographs.
Well, that's great, but you're going to have to back burner her. We just got this from headquarters. Body of a young woman who'd been murdered was found in her apartment. I want you to get on it right away.
Dead woman found alone. That ought to sell a few papers.
Well, it better sell newspapers if you want to collect your salary check. Kristen, I want you to work with Hogan on this as well. You know the thing that I want. Get something of her home, her friends, where she works. You know what we're looking for.
You going to handle this with your usual banner headlines, right?
If a war doesn't break out somewhere between now and press deadline, yes.
Scare the wits out of every girl in Henderson. That ought to do it.
I thought if you handled this with your particular brand of sensitivity, we might be able to convince the women of Henderson to be more cautious. After you finish at the apartment, if you'd get over to the coroner's office, he's scheduled the autopsy for this afternoon.
I could go along there, too. Get some real juicy shots of the morgue.
You could find yourself looking for a new job as well. And don't let your private life and your feelings color your attitude at work. It could cost you.
Oh, Susie. Oh, honey. I'm so glad to see you. Are you all right?
I'm fine. I was worried about leaving you without a replacement. You found one, I hope.
Are you kidding? Who could replace you? Around here, honey, you're one of a kind at the studio. You're competent. I believe you two have met.
Yes, we've met. Hi, Cagney.
Hello. Yes, we're old friends.
Mrs. Wyatt, the assignment desk is requesting a crew to cover a murder. It just came in.
Oh, I'll be right there. Oh, don't go away. We have a lot to talk about.
I'm glad to see you. I can't get over that you're here.
It's your fault.
You know, when you didn't come back with me from Stanfordville, I didn't know what to think. I hoped. Are you just visiting, or?
I'm back to stay. I thought it would be better to face everybody now than later. Cagney.
Go on, tell me.
Do you still want everyone to think that you're the father of my baby? Because if you do, I'll go along with it.
Good days start with great mornings.
The day's looking new and bright, and you're gonna start it right. Folgers starting to brew, the aroma's calling you. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
Nothing brightens your morning like mountain-grown Folgers, because mountain-grown coffee has more enticing aroma and richer flavor than any other kind.
That rich aromatic blend is your best morning friend. Start you out feeling good, the day goes like it should. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup.
It has no inks. It has no perfumes. It's all Bounce. Bounce Free is here.
One way to find a job is to look in publications. Lots of publications.
Any luck?
Well, I've got newspapers, magazines, trade papers,
Find anything yet?
newsletters, phone books, you name it.
There's a better way to find a better job.
Honey, look at this.
The National Business Employment Weekly.
It's published by the Wall Street Journal. It lists hundreds of high-paying jobs all across the country.
Now, what about managerial jobs?
Managerial, professional, technical, sales like mine. It even has articles on interviewing, writing a better resume, and how to succeed once you get the job.
What am I doing with all of these, now that I have the National Business Employment Weekly?
Pick up the National Business Employment Weekly at a newsstand or call 800-351-1500 and receive 8 issues by first-class mail for only $35. 800-351-1500. The National Business Employment Weekly.
Don't make a career move without it.
She's been so hostile to so many of the families.
T.R., darling, you remember Miss Sullivan?
Hello, T.R. We should speak in private before I speak with T.R.
I wasn't spying on you.
We know that, sweetheart.
I was just going to my bedroom.
Okay. I'll call you when we need you, all right? I've explained everything to T.R. She understands just what you need.
Will I be speaking to her alone, then?
Yes, I have a business appointment. I thought that best.
Is Mr. Santel at home today?
No, I'm afraid he's in Indonesia. His cousin had a terrible accident and he had to go. Kate McCleary is here. She helps me with the children.
Oh, well, did Mr. Santel have a chance to know her before he left?
Oh, absolutely. He's only been gone a few days. In fact, he's closer to T.R. than anyone.
Oh, you and T.R. are not close, then?
Well...
Yes, Mrs. Santel?
It's just that since my husband left, she's been a little difficult to reach.
Should I take that to mean
too difficult?
It's just that she misses Mr. Santel very much.
Mm-hmm. Has she been acting out? That is, has she been destructive?
Oh, I wouldn't go as far to say that. No, she's been testing us to determine if she's really wanted.
Uh-huh. May I say something off the record? Sometimes these situations with older foster children don't always work out for many reasons. TR's has a lot of strikes against her. She's not a hardened criminal like some of the children that I'm placing, but, well, you know, sometimes there are wild horses that can't be broken.
Excuse me, Miss Sullivan, with all due respect to your position and your experience, I mean, we have no intention of breaking TR. She's almost broken as it is. We want to make her a whole person, a happy child.
You want to continue this arrangement?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, how does what does the child prefer?
I suppose you better ask her that. TR, darling, would you come on down now?
Mr. Santel, Jimmy's about to serve lunch. Where would you like it?
Oh, thank you, Kate. I guess, why don't we let TR entertain Miss Sullivan in here? Miss Sullivan, Kate McCleary. Kate, Miss Sullivan is TR's social worker.
Oh, how do you do?
Thank you. There you are. Darling, I have a business appointment, but I won't be gone long. It's all right. It's going to be all right. Oh, Miss Sullivan, do enjoy our home. Will I hear from you soon?
Yes, if you like, just as soon as I've evaluated my findings.
I'd appreciate that.
TR, will you sit down and talk to me? Mr. Santel tells me you've been having some difficulties.
Laurie Hughes, Century Boulevard. Must have some bucks.
Of course she does, or we wouldn't cover it. Rich girl gets killed and makes the front page news. But if she was poor, we both know where it would end up on page 6 next to Millionaire Bingo.
We'd still have to cover it. Oh, is it something I said?
I never believed what Warren said. I didn't want to, but now I am learning that everything he ever told me was true.
Kristen, you want to tell me what this is all about?
I went to Lloyd this morning to ask a favor. He once told me that if ever I needed to talk to him, I should feel free, and I thought he meant it. Well, my brother needs a job. So I begged him to give Warren a second chance. But do you think it's enough? They're taking everything he's ever worked for? No, they have to rip away his self-confidence, too. Well, they're going to pay for it, every single one of them.
Is this you talking or your brother?
And tell Sir Wyatt. And Sir Lloyd Kendall. Look, I don't care who hears me because my brother's
Kristen,
fights
maybe
are my...
this isn't your fight.
He's my brother.
I hate to say this, but your brother doesn't exactly have an untarnished reputation.
Oh, you're on their side?
No, I have a brother, too. I know how you're feeling. He's gotten himself into some pretty lousy messes, and I've had to clean up a few.
Of all the people I know, I wouldn't have expected this for... Oh, but you're one of them, aren't you? You went to college, and you know all the right people, all the right things to
No,
say.
you're wrong. I had to earn my way, just like you. I don't know all the gory details about your brother, and I really don't want to. What I'm concerned about is you. Now, if your brother's got problems...
Then I have to help him.
Well, how's it going to help him if you get fired? I know it's tough, but that's the way it is.
Such logic and detachment. What's easy when it's not happening to somebody that you love? Where was all this logic when you punched Jack Benton in the face?
Phone confessions.
I tried to be a good husband, but when I met her sister, well, she was so pretty.
Confessions.
I haven't been able to tell anybody. I can't even tell my boyfriend, but my biggest fantasy is to...
Phone confessions.
I've just got to get it off my chest. When I was 25...
Phone confessions.
I'm so sorry. I couldn't control my temper. I didn't mean to.
Call now, 1-900-909-6000. You won't believe your ears.
When she goes on her way, so bright and clean each day, you know it makes me wanna shout, 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 shout.
Now Wash-Out's improved with 25% more cleaning power to get tough, greasy stains out. Better than spray and wash. Better than ever.
You know it makes me wanna shout. Wanna talk, say it out, shout it out.
America's best. In their final test, basketball. John Thompson's USA squad tips off against the NBA All-Stars. Baseball. Cuba's Crushers slug it out with the red, white, and blue. Boxing. Head-to-head with our neighbors to the north. Plus, the thrills and spills of cycling and gymnastics. The Carolinas Invitational. The last stop on the road to Seoul is Charlotte. August 12th through 14th on USA.
Oh, please, no more, Hank.
I'm sorry I'm late. Have you already ordered lunch?
I've already finished lunch.
Well, I am sorry. Today's been one thing after another.
Yes, well, I have one thing and then another, so let's get started, shall we?
Right. According to the law that was passed in the legislature last night, all new public building is required to provide access for the physically handicapped.
I heard that on the news. It's a long overdue idea.
Since the annex began construction before that statute was passed, we might be able to get an exemption.
But we want ramps for wheelchairs. Is that what we're talking about? I mean, I'm shocked that that's not in the original plan.
Mrs. Zentel, if we were only talking about tearing up a few feet of concrete, sidewalk, and pouring new forms, then I wouldn't have called Jakarta this morning in an attempt to reach your husband.
Well, if you've already spoken to my husband about this,
I
why
was
did
not
you
able
insist
to
that
talk to him. He was stuck out on an offshore oil rig. Now, I'm sorry if this is too much for you to deal with today, but I need an answer.
I did not say this was too much for me to deal with today. I don't like what you're implying. You know, Mr. Kendall, my life is just as full, just as complicated as yours. Now, if you have a problem with the annex and I can help solve it, I will. But why don't you tell me what the problem is and let's get on with it, shall we?
Let's just do that.
Yes, fine.
Simply put, the law states that an access ramp has to be built at every major entrance to a public building. The annex has two, one here and one here. That's the one with the problem. We build a ramp there, we have to eliminate 6 badly needed parking spaces, as well as eliminate some walls over here that are already finished construction.
Well, what's the bottom line? How much would this cost?
It would involve 6, possibly even 7 additional weeks of labor costs. That could amount to over $1 million in cost overruns. Are you capable of making a decision about that in your husband's absence?
What are the alternatives?
Stop construction. Pay the crew to sit around and wait for Travis to come home. Or don't pay them and lose them. Or we could do what I suggested. Try to get an exemption.
I thought I made it clear we do not want an exemption.
We?
I think I can safely speak for my husband. Now, what about Stephanie? What does she say about it?
Apparently, she's even busier than you are. So we're going to have to start with your decision.
Well, I know my husband will go along with whatever I decide. However, I can't release that kind of money.
No? Do you mean to tell me that your husband doesn't allow you power of attorney when his absence? I am speechless.
Do you think you could find it somewhere in yourself to put aside this little feud you're having with my husband and talk to me like another business associate? Or are you this offensive with everyone?
Excuse me, Mrs. Zentel. Mr. Kendall.
Cagney, hello.
Hi.
Well, Mr. Kendall, do you know Cagney McCleary? He does work on your construction crew.
McCleary, any relation to Hogan?
He's my brother.
Oh, I'm delighted to meet you, Cagney. Your brother's a fine newspaperman. Even better man.
Thank you. I told him you said so. I noticed the blueprints here and was wondering if you're discussing the studio annex.
That was what we were talking about.
This is in regard to the new law that was just passed for the handicapped. I think I might have a solution.
Young man, this is really not a concern of yours, and we do have a great deal left to discuss.
Tell me, Cagney, what's on your mind?
Well, I'm no expert, but if you're interested.
I'm interested. What's your idea?
I overheard Hank, our foreman, say that we might have to tear down one of these walls here. May I? But it seems to me that if we duplicate this original wall here. And...
Whoa. Wait a minute. You're talking about eliminating the original wall here?
If you do that, you can put the ramp here.
Yeah.
That would mean losing some shrubs and your old entranceway, but you would be able to save all that projected parking lot space.
Could this work?
I have to show it to the architect first. Well, no one else has suggested the idea of moving that original wall. Thank you, McCleary. Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Anytime. Thank you very much.
Nice to see you, Cagney. Bye.
Certainly. Bye-bye.
Mrs. Santel, there's a definite possibility that I owe you an apology. I am sorry, sincerely sorry, if you found any of my remarks to you offensive. Call a truce?
Call me Liza.
Oh, I was afraid you'd left. Now, look, I'm late for our lunch meeting, but first things first. This is more important. Did you have the abortion?
No, I've decided to keep the baby.
Oh, honey, that sounds awfully permanent. Are you sure? Are you really sure? Well, I can't agree with you, but... Well, if that's what you want, I'll have to accept it.
Thank you.
Oh, honey, why did you leave town? Was it Wendy?
Wendy had nothing to do with it. I just felt it was best for everyone.
Oh, I'm glad you're back, dear. Are you here to stay?
Mm-hmm.
What made you change your mind?
Oh, it's very complicated.
This friend of yours, Cagney McCleary, did he have anything to do with your decision?
Yes.
Well, which one? To go or to come back? Oh, come on now, tell me. You know your Aunt Jo isn't going to tell me anything.
Well, I met Cagney by accident at the Stanfordville Hospital. He was there visiting a sick friend, and I was looking for a job. He convinced me to come back.
Oh, honey, I'm glad he did. Oh, dear. Now, look, I want to tell you something. Wendy's been saying something, and please don't be angry with her, because she really can't help herself. I'm just now beginning to realize that. But she has told me that Cagney's the father of your baby. Now, I don't believe that, but she is desperate to believe it.
Well, Stephanie, that's not...
Now, come on, honey. I only told you that because I wanted you to be prepared in case you heard it. I mean, heaven knows where she got the idea.
Stephanie, Wendy is right. Cagney is the father of my baby.
A new bikini. Go for it. Go for it. There's your dad with Bikini Bear. Get smooth skin to show for it.
For legs, for underarms, Bikini Bear Lotion Depilatory with our unique applicator remover. Its mild friction helps make hair removal quicker, more thorough. And for the bikini area, Bikini Bear Cream Depilatory with moisturizing finishing cream.
Bikini Bear, go for it. Get smooth skin to show for it. Bikini Bear.
Hey, I've tried everything from PTL to Jimmy Swagger. Still, something was missing.
I thought I had it all till I picked up the phone and really opened my eyes.
Radical? I didn't know how awesome Radical could be till I made the call.
Find out what everyone's talking about. Call the Metheist hotline. Discover for yourself what the me generation's all about. Call 1-900-909-3900. You won't believe it's for real.
Reality is just a state of mind.
$2 first minute, 35 cents each additional minute.
Well, I guess I really should be going. I left TR with the social worker.
You let them interview her while she was alone? Do you think that was wise?
It's customary. I mean, it's her decision whether or not she wants to stay with us. I am feeling anxious about that.
I don't think you have a thing to worry about. In fact, you're probably the best thing that ever happened to that little girl.
If you're not going to answer my questions, I'm going to have to write that down. Is that what you want, TR?
What do you want to know?
Has it been difficult living here with the Santels?
What did Liza tell you?
I'm interested in your point of view.
I don't know.
Do you know how lucky you are living in a house like this?
Why don't you tell me?
Is this how you act with your new parents? Or is this just for my benefit exclusively?
Am I making you mad?
Is that important to you, making you mad?
You don't care what's important to me. All you care is what you write in that book of yours.
I'm trying to help you, and so are your new parents.
I am a hopeless case. Go ahead and write that, too. I don't care.
TR,
What?
do you or do you not want to stay here?
Well, well, well. How very cozy. Stephanie, I think we've solved the building annex problem. I'm going to let Lloyd tell you all about it. So, excuse me, I'm going to go home to my children now.
So long, Liza. And don't you worry about a thing.
And don't you worry about a thing, a building annex problem.
Hogan, what can I say? It's just been a wonderful day. I wake up this morning with a solution to a very thorny problem. Susie's back home where she belongs, and I feel on top of the world.
Mm-hmm. And you're drinking OJ without the Russian accent?
Please, don't remind me. You're right. It's not the solution to any problem. I was strung up for 3 days after that binge. But no more. No more, I say, never again.
Mm-hmm.
Especially now. Can't afford it. I'm going to be a daddy.
What did you say?
Don't be too upset, big guy. I think you'd be used to my surprises by now.
You know, my surprise meter just tilted. So tell me, who's the lucky girl?
I already told you about her, Susie.
Wait a minute, didn't you tell me just the other night when you were falling down drunk that you weren't the real father?
Yeah, but don't tell that to anyone.
And didn't Susie leave town because you told Carter that you were the father?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but now she's back. She's back. My Susie is back.
And she's going along with all this, huh?
Yeah, isn't it great?
You know, if you don't stop grinning, I think I'm going to be sick.
I can't help it. I may never feel this way again. Kiss me, Hogan, I'm golden.
Let me smell this. What are you drinking? Are you sure there's no Russians in that, huh?
I'm glad I found you.
Oh, don't tell me you got fired.
No, you know the girl who was murdered? The coroner called. She was also raped. Miss Adamson, look, I know who you are, and I'm sorry about what happened to you. You don't know. Really, you don't know what happened. I'm the only one who knows that, and I'm telling you, stay away from him.